Yeah, g'day. Um, so I saw this stupid comment on the journalism show the other day where they were trying to figure out why they think they can't see Venus, and clearly the dawn and dusk is pointing the wrong friggin' direction. You would think he would have a brain, but they just don't get it, do they? It all comes down to this question of, like, should we see Venus in the sky? I'd never really asked the question probably about 3 or 4 years ago because I didn't really care that much. But now that I do see Venus every single night in my night sky, I point it out. I look at it, and as you can see here, it says here that you should be able to see it at 47 degrees. You should be able to see Mercury at 28 degrees. Now, that diagram obviously is showing from the center of the Earth, which would obviously probably confuse some people. So I figured I would go out there and just model it myself, right? So, sun distance here, 147 million kilometers. Mercury distance, 59 million kilometers. And Venus distance, 107 million kilometers, right? So when you go and draw it up into this, and keep in mind that it's just perfect circles. There's no elliptical pattern to this. It's just just a simple tester. Now, if you're on, look at how damn small it is. See this? This little tiny circle here is Earth, right? Now, if you're on this side, and let's say this is the North Pole, and you're on this side, you are getting your, I believe it's dusk. Pretty sure it's dusk because you're basically looking in the western direction, and the planet is spinning this way, and so this is dusk, and this is yes, that's dusk, and that's and dawn, right? So morning, afternoon. I don't really talk in dusk and dawn most of the time. It's not a word I typically use, and of course, many of the people are saying, well, if Venus is supposed to be closer to the planet, then surely we can't see it at all because it's dead in the middle of the daytime, right? And of course, the same thing for Mercury. If Mercury is closer to the sun, surely we can't see it. It'd be completely ridiculous, right? Now, if we did look up in the night sky from this particular location, now if I draw a line, and I draw it, let's say I draw it to the point where Venus is directly 90 degrees to the sun, right? So this is not the most extreme point, and same thing for Mercury. If I draw a line here, let's see if my dimensions are big enough because I don't know what I set up. Let's have a bit of a look at what you could potentially see it at in the middle of the night. So potentially you could see Mercury at its most 90 degree point at 22 degrees, right? And for Venus, you could see Venus at 36 degrees above the sunset, right? Now that obviously doesn't, that's not going to match this one because it's got 28 and 47, right? But it's pretty close, right? So 22 versus 28, 36 versus 47, right? So just in general, if Earth is at 90 degrees and Mercury and Venus is down here, you will see it at that particular angle. So I'll just put Mercury down here. Tiny little planet. It's absolutely tiny, as you can see. And we'll get Venus into its little tiny location. And we'll put it over here. So if it was 90 degrees from us, this is the angle that we'd see. Now, this has a snap to tangent set up in this particular model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make these gray, similar to the orbits, because this is one particular angle, but we want the most extreme angle that's potential for us. So if I'm to looking, if I'm going to look from this particular location on the sunset line out to Mercury, and I strike it to this tangent line, I should get a new, much greater value. Same thing here. Strike it to the sunset point, and we'll bring it out to the Venus angle, right? So what I might do is I might quickly, I will turn these ones grey because they are the smaller ones, and I might make these new ones in the yellow color so that they are a bit more punchy. I'm hoping you can see that sort of stuff. I do have my line weights on, so it should make it a bit more stronger. Now, if I put a dimension angle for Mercury, this is giving me 24 degrees. So interesting. I'm actually 4 degrees off what this says is the prediction. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is obviously my one does not include, the elliptical orbits. Mine's just perfect circle, but it's interesting. Just 4 degrees off. Now 4 degrees might sound like a lot, but personally, like I said, because they've got elliptical and I don't mind that. And I've got 48 degrees. Maybe you can see, sorry, 47 degrees. 47 degrees. So it's 47 degrees around to the most extreme location over here. So Venus was over here. We would see it at 47. Now, yep, this one said 47 degrees for Venus. So my one matches that. It's a little bit off of Mercury, so I'm kind of curious what the elliptical actual orbit is for Mercury and what the extremes are. But that's the same thing goes for this if you mirror it over. So what they say about Venus and Mercury is it is the morning star sometimes. So you could have a scenario where, like, Mercury obviously does their orbits much faster than us, and Venus does their orbit much faster than us too, right? So there is a point where we will see Venus in this particular position, and I mean we may even potentially go and see Venus all the way out over here too, right? So we could potentially go and see it over here, right? So you could see Venus here or even there if you wanted to. Now, so this is all after sunset. So this one here would be just before sunrise. So if you went out, like, say 1 hour before the sun started to rise, you could go out there and see Venus, at an angle above your horizon, looking in the eastward direction, right? Whereas this one here, you would see it at an angle, looking in the westward direction, and that should work perfectly fine. So all those people who say, "Oh, you just can't see it," they've never considered this, because if you are on this particular, if you're on the sunset part here, right, you're entering the dark side, which is this back side. The day side is here. Yes, the day side's here. So as the planet rolls around here, you're starting to slip into here. So you will be like, let's say you're standing over here, right? You'll be able to look up at a pretty similar angle right there. So when you're at nighttime, you'll be slowly getting to the backside. You won't be able to. I don't think you'll be able to go and see this sort of thing at midnight. Depending on which latitude, of course. Maybe you might be able to see it at midnight if you're like really, really high in near the Arctic Circle or something. Maybe, but I'm just shitballing. Just I could be wrong, but that's fine. So this is how you see Venus and Mercury from Earth. The numbers are pretty close. I mean, I got 47 degrees and I got 24. So according to my rough napkin drawing, seeing Venus and Mercury is just fine. So I don't get why these guys who can turn up on Journalism's channel are so hopeless. It's just that if they only actually actually tried to think for 10 seconds, because he did a very, very poor job of thinking. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in, and like and subscribe, I guess. I'll see you later.